What's up, fam? This is an episode y'all been waiting for a while, much requested. This episode is featuring one of the founders of the Wilderness podcast. Yes, that's right, the Wilderness Runescape podcast. Y'all know it, you love it, you heard of it. If you haven't, go check them out. Ow, ow, ow. What's up, guys? We got a special episode of Rogan Runescape. We have a special guest here, Dilz, founder of the Wilderness podcast. What's up, Dilz?
Hey man, how's it going? Thanks for having me on.
Yes, sir, dude. It's great that you. It's great to have you, bro. This is awesome.
You know what? I love Joe Rogan and I love RuneScape, so it's the blending of the two is perfect.
Yeah, I can't wait till I get like a Jamie Vernon. You know, someone to look up all the the facts in the RuneScape scoreboards. That'd be awesome.
But instead, you get stuck with a Brian.
Yeah.
Actually, I do love him. But yeah.
Brian was great. Like he added that extra like just like loopiness to the podcast of getting people to smell his fleshlights.
Yeah, he was special, but it was a different era of the show, which is special in its own way.
100%. So, dude, how this has been requested for a long time coming. A lot of people have been, mentioning. A lot of people in here are from the Wilderness Clan chat in RuneScape, and a lot of people had been like, man, I really miss the Wilderness podcast, so what have you been up to, and I guess since you took a break?
Yeah, and a whole lot of getting school. Yeah, so in I think it was December, I put out the last episode, and then I had another episode recorded, and I was like, I'm gonna get this out at some point, and then I was doing school and a bunch of other things, and then I got kind of bored of RuneScape, so I stopped playing RuneScape, and then I was like, I'm going to kind of put the show on the back burner for now since I'm not playing the game. And months went by, and I just never edited that episode, and then I just did an update a couple days ago, but basically saying as the more time that went on, the more daunting it was to actually edit that episode. So now it's just sitting on my desktop, and I've decided I'm probably never going to get to that, but I was just been doing an internship because I was in school for radio broadcasting, but I wanted to actually find a job in podcasting, so I was got an internship with this podcast network, and pretty cool. They got me editing a couple shows there, which was a lot of fun. And wow. Yeah, I was focusing on that and trying to get career ready, and then the pandemic hit, so that now is big. A lot of downtime, and then I logged into RuneScape the other day, and here we are.
Yeah, I started listening to the episode that you had just released where you're talking about school. Then I hopped in the shower, and it's kind of hard to hear in the shower with the water running without a speaker.
Yeah,
but how long have you been doing the water? Actually, two questions. One, do you do this with anyone? I've heard the name Magpie dropped a couple times. Did you start this podcast with anyone, and how long have you been doing it?
I started it in September of 2016. That's when the first episode went out. I think it was September 3rd. But I started planning it with my brother, Deegan. It was actually my brother, Deegan. His name's Deegan. So Deegan, and then I had another friend that we all played RuneScape together. And it was back in July or June of 2016. And I remember because I used to work in production, and I remember I was looking for a RuneScape podcast, and then for some reason I couldn't really find one. And I was like, well, that's strange because RuneScape's a huge game. And I mean, a lot of people who play RuneScape, they only play RuneScape, or not just only play it, but they'll spend 8 hours on the game. And for there to be no podcast, I was like, that's so strange because I mean, Fallout had its own podcast, which doesn't even get updates. It's just, Fallout. I was playing Destiny 1, and they had 3 or 4 podcasts, and they only get one update every 4 months. Oh.
Who just joined and left?
That's a great question. I'm not too sure.
I missed it.
Yeah, but yeah, I was like, that's so strange that Destiny has 4 podcasts, but RuneScape doesn't. So then I was to my brother and my friend, hey, let's do our own podcast, and then I had a buddy, the other friend got sucked into the duel arena and ended up losing all of his money and quitting. So it ended up being me and Deegan, and then he quit the game last summer. So then he really stopped playing the game in the summer, and then Song of the Elves came out, and I remember we sat down to record an episode, and he just wasn't feeling it, and he didn't really care about Song of the Elves because he wasn't playing the game. So then I was like, hey man, like maybe you should step away from the show because Song of the Elves was such a big update that it would be weird to just brush over that update. And then Magpie started doing it with me, and he's like your veteran PVMer. He's got the Inferno cape and stuff, so he really knows his shit.
Yo, Luke Mac, you got some ambient noise in the background. You might have to go to a quieter setting if you can, bro.
No, that was me. That was my bad. I just joined. It was my headset was messed up, but I'm actually at work, so I gotta step outside so my audio doesn't kill everybody. There we go.
Yeah, I can hear like shopping carts clashing in the background like those bumper cars.
Yeah.
Sick.
Man, so 2016, bro. Holy shit.
It was crazy. Like it was interesting. I don't even remember. Yeah, I remember talking to my brother about it, being like, I can't believe we started the show. Like, I knew nothing about it, and I had like, I don't know. I guess you just grow so much over the years that it's weird to look back at it.
So I had kind of the same like realization. I was looking for a RuneScape podcast. I found you guys, and I found Old School RuneScape Weekly, and I listened to it, and I was amazed though that there was like really not more than there were. You know, I thought, I was like, dang, dude, there's so many YouTube videos for RuneScape, but I just couldn't believe that there wasn't more podcasts than, you know, just a handful, like 3 or 4. It was kind of mind blowing to me.
Even RuneScape 3, they have 2 shows that have been going. They have one show that's been going since like 2005. And RuneScape 3 has like a quarter of the player base that's old RuneScape.
Yeah, that's incredible. We also got a Juice Box, aka Smoke Blunty here, Luke Mac.
Mac. Of course.
What up?
What up? I'm fucking glad Dilz hopped on. That's awesome. That's a good, exciting grab for the Rogan and RuneScape podcast. You know, doing big things. Good to see Dilz in here. Fucking, you got to get back on the Wilderness podcast, man. Everyone in the Wild CC is losing their minds without that great content.
Yeah, maybe I'll record one eventually, but no plans right yet.
I know. I just know people would yell at me if I didn't bug you for
it. Fair enough.
So you guys typically do longer episodes. It looks like it seems like 2 hours, 3-hour episodes. You got a couple 50-minute ones in there. Do you record in one go, or do you pause it and stuff?
There's been a few times that we've paused it like halfway through because it's like a long episode and I'm starting to get tired or I get hungry or something halfway through. But we started off doing like an hour episode and then people were like, oh, do it longer. So then we started doing 3 hours. Although that became a problem because then I'd spend so much time recording and editing it. And I was like, ugh, this. Mm-hmm. If I ever go back to it, I probably wouldn't do 3 hours.
Bro, 100%, dude. Like, all my time since starting this has been devoted to playing, for one, playing RuneScape. What's up, Sean boy?
What's up?
Hey.
Talking to Dilz, man. But all my time basically goes to all my friends know, like they'll hit me up and I'll be like, sorry, bro, got podcasting to do. So I feel you there. It takes a lot of time. I don't think people realize how much time you have to devote to not only your podcast but also RuneScape to stay relevant.
Yeah, it's crazy, and I think you'd probably do multiple episodes in a week, right?
Yeah, I've kind of slowed down a little bit now, but definitely was doing kind of like 2 to 3. I'll do as many as I can, you know what I mean? As many as possible, for sure.
Yeah, it takes more time than I expect sometimes too, because I remember having an episode recorded on Sunday, and I'd be like, okay, we'll get it ready for Monday, and then Monday would go by, and I only got like a quarter of the way through, and then Tuesday would go by, and then it's Wednesday, and you're like, oh, fuck, I just want to get this over and done with. I don't want to spend all week with this thing overhanging my head.
100%, dude. Like, it does kind of turn into, like, a job a little bit. What is your in-game name, if you want to share it.
It's just Dilz, Dilz.
Gotcha. Definitely have to add you.
It was funny because it used to be Butternuts, and then they did that thing where they released a bunch of usernames, and I ended up snagging another Butternuts, like I just a different way of spelling it. And then I think someone was like, "Yo, why don't you just snag Dilz?" And I was like, "True." And then I tried snagging it, and it was available.
Nice.
And I've had a few people hit me up being like, "Can I buy that name off you?" Because they have some Dilz with a bunch of numbers afterwards, and I'm like, ugh. How much? No.
I found a 4-letter one the other day, but I fucking don't remember what it is. But it was still available, and I was surprised.
Yeah, those are a high commodity.
Yeah, they are.
So I'm trying to go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say I had a character whose name was Achu, like when you sneeze.
Sick.
That's pretty good. Yeah, I like the shorter names. It kind of seems like for everything, man. Like a band, if you're a metal band or something like that, and you got like a 1-word name, it's kind of like badass. Or like rappers, like if they got like a simple short name, it's kind of badass.
True.
It's kind of, I couldn't even fit Rogan and RuneScape in a clan chat. Like when I tried to create like a CC in game, I couldn't get the whole Rogan and RuneScape in there.
I have Rogan and Rune, but we need to get the fucking 150 level requirement for it to become a CC.
Oh yeah.
Stupid, because it's like I'm not gonna spend fucking $5 million a month to bond the stupid thing every month, so I have to get the 150 levels.
So we got Rogan and Rune. I know Slan set up Rogan and RS, and then we
do like R and R, RS. Or R&R pod or something like that.
Yeah, the RAR pod. RAR.
Who knows? Maybe once they do that clan chat update, you'll be able to just stick any name in there. You won't even have to make the account for it.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Yeah,
Holy crap, dude. I just finally got the high scores to load. You got max combat?
Almost. We're getting there. I got Sorry, who are you talking to?
you Dilz, you got 99 attack, 99 defense, 99 strength, 99 hit points, 99 range, 98 magic. Like, oh my god, bro.
I've had 98 magic for like 2 years because I was like, oh, when I got 98, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna see how long it'll take me to level it up just by teleporting and like, just like casting spells from killing monsters and just doing it, like not actually trying to train the skill.
Yeah,
it's been like 2 years. I still have 500k to go, so I mean, not bad. But
I actually contemplated doing the same thing when I was at 98 mage. I was like, I bet I'll passively get it as I train my other skills, but I was like, nah, I want that 99.
It's a good cape too.
Yeah, it's a cool cape. I like the untrimmed mage.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah,
it's the best thing about it is the spellbook swap. You don't ever have to go to anyone's house ever again.
Isn't it only once a day?
5 times.
5? That's pretty good.
Hell yeah.
I think it's technically a 0 EHP skill or whatever. So, like, if you do, like, mage while you're doing agility, or you have to imbue for lava runes, you end up getting 99 just through maxing other skills.
Yeah, that's true. But I did mine. Mage has always been my first 99 on like all of my like main accounts that I've ever had. Just like I feel like it's easy. Like I always.
Dude, I don't know what's going on with this shit.
He was gonna spill some big information that Jagex got a hold of.
I keep dis fucking connecting. I don't know why.
I don't know.
It's crazy.
But so kind of a stereotypical cliche question that I always ask people here, and that we always kind of get similar answers, Dilz, is what first brought you to Gielinor? Or how did you first hear about RuneScape? When did you first start playing? Was it dial-up?
Yeah, it was back in like 2002 or 2003. I was at a summer camp, and not a summer camp, a soccer camp in the summer. And I remember these two guys were talking about the game, but I didn't have internet growing up. Like I didn't have a home computer growing up, so I had to go to the library or I had to go to my grandparents. And I remember I went to my grandparents, and then I was like, "Oh, I want to check this game out." And then it was like the craziest game ever. It's like, oh my god, there's other people playing this. And then the funniest thing is, the next summer because I'd only see them during the soccer camp. So then I went to the soccer camp again a year later, and I saw them, and I was like, "Hey guys, you guys still play RuneScape?" And they're like, "No, RuneScape fucking sucks. What a stupid game." And I was like, "Yeah, totally." I was about to say the same thing, but I was like so addicted to it.
So, how old are you now?
I'm 27, so I would have been. Oh man, I don't even remember. Grades. I have no idea. Grade 7, maybe.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's about right.
Like
That's about right.
9.
Yeah, that's so.
2003.
So you started a little bit before I did. I think I started it was 2006 is really when I created my account. And I just find it incredible. I mean, it makes sense, but I find it incredible that for the most part, everyone that's come on here and told their story. We're all about 26, 27 years old. Like, for the most part, I'd say 90% of the people in this clan chat or in this Discord are about 26. We have a couple people that are like 31. I think taxing's like 20 or 21. So you have, some variables, but it's pretty cool, man. We're all in a similar point in our lives. And that's a really cool kind of community, factor. We're all like similar ages going through the same things at the same time.
It's funny how it works, but I think it's just like a time. I was talking because I play Dungeons and Dragons every week, and the people that I play with, they're like 5 years young. They're about 5 years younger. Like, they're all younger than I am, and I met them at college. But we were talking the other day about RuneScape and stuff. But like, there's like a timeline where Minecraft was what RuneScape was. Like, everyone at the library would be playing Minecraft. But before that, it was RuneScape. So you had these people who were like, oh, I never really played Minecraft growing up. And then the people was like, I never even heard of RuneScape. So it's kind of got like replaced by Minecraft.
The question that everybody's wondering, did you have a RuneScape girlfriend?
It's crazy is how people seemingly like at that particular like age, like Mickey was saying, like 26, 27, people like, I feel like almost everyone also has taken like years off. Like, they'll stop playing RuneScape for like 2 years or 4 years or 5 years, and then like everyone always just like comes back to it. It's just like, that one thing that will always have your back. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I gave away my main account. That's why it's hard for me to remember the exact year I started playing, because I gave away my first account. So I can't even check to see when it was made. But yeah, I gave it away when they took out PKing, so I was so mad.
Yeah, dude.
Hell yeah.
What the fuck were they thinking? Like, I don't PK a lot. Like, now I don't really PK at all. But I mean, that's just like such a big like part of the game for so many people. I don't know what they were thinking of taking that away.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's a type of PK or PvP that you don't really see in many other games.
So I got a couple questions. What type of microphone do you use?
I got upgraded a few months ago to the let me see, what does it say here? The Electro Voice RE320.
Okay, because I was thinking about getting a Snowball Yeti, which I might still do, but I kind of want to get a USB interface called a Scarlett 3.0, so I can use an XLR mic and plug an XLR mic into the interface, and then get like a condenser mic. I was kind of thinking about going that route.
If you have money to spend,
Mickey, if you end up going that route, you should get a MXL 990.
Okay, what were you saying, Dilz?
No, because I started off with one of those blue Yeti things, because that's what all the YouTubers and shit use. So I was like, oh, that must be a really good microphone, and it's not a bad microphone, but it's also you could spend the same amount of money and get better quality, but you just have to buy a few more pieces of equipment. Like the Scarlett is a little expensive, but it's like industry standard. Like, even when I started interning at this podcast network, that's like they use that everywhere. Like, they have like tons of them, and I was like, what the hell?
Do you use a Mac or do you use Windows?
Windows is my PC, and then my girlfriend has the Mac that I kind of started using a lot more when I was in school, because it's It's not bad.
You know what irked me about Mac, and I've been a avid Windows fan. My favorite operating system was Windows XP. It was just simple, great. I loved XP. But one thing that irked me is like, so I'm using a MacBook Air. Like, I can't remember if it's 2019 or 2020, but anyways, I tried to like screen record, and then I found out that there's no native way to screen record with audio. Like, you have to get like Soundflower and do some like workarounds. I was like, oh, come on, man. Do you do any like screen recording for YouTube, or did you guys have like a YouTube account where you would post videos or anything, or is it mainly audio?
All audio. Like we have a YouTube account that's just basically a picture with the same podcast recordings, and then I'd always get these ideas like, oh, I want to be a YouTuber. I want to be the next Settled, and then I'd start making some YouTube video because I had a week off or something, and I'd make the first episode, and then I'd put it out, and then I'd not have time to do a second episode. So
Yeah.
Hey man, that shit takes all day, every day, man. If you do that, man, you gotta straight up commit.
Yeah, it takes a while, especially if you don't know how to video edit, and you got to learn how to do all that stuff too.
I'm a pain in the butt. So you're a big inspiration for for me starting the podcast. You and the other boys that started it up, just because like we were talking about, I was amazed that there weren't more RuneScape podcasts. I felt like there was a niche. I knew that there was hundreds of thousands of people playing RuneScape, and there had to be people that wanted to hear podcasts talking about RuneScape. So I just want to say thank you. Definitely a big inspiration, and definitely a motivating, or one thing that brings a lot of people here, I think, are people that listen to your podcast. And we have a lot of people from the Wilderness CC. I know that Luke Max in the CC. I know Sean Boy is, and we got a whole Sheer RNG. I'm pretty sure he was in the CC. Yeah. We got a lot of people in here from there. So
the Wild CC's holding it down.
Well, shit. Well, thanks, but I agree though. It's crazy that there wasn't more podcasts because like you said, there was OSRS Weekly. But I remember when I stumbled across them, they had stopped doing their show for like a year or two. And then I know they came back maybe a year ago, but then they've stopped again. But it seems like the theme for a lot of shows. I mean, we did the same thing, so what the hell?
God, I got a long way to go though to keep up like with you guys. You've been doing it since 2016. I mean, I just started in October, so it's been less than a year for sure.
When we started, one thing I was worried about was like, man, I wish we started this podcast the year Old School RuneScape started, because we're like 4 years into the game, and I felt the same way. Like, oh, God, we're so late to it. But I guess it's never too late to start.
Yeah, man, and it's really cool that you came on here, because like since day one, I never was doing like a competition thing. Like I was never trying to be hostile towards anyone else. Like never been like, fuck those guys or, fuck these guys. Like it was never a competition thing. If anything, it was all about community and bringing people together. There's no reason to try to like shoot down people or be envious or jealous, because, we got to bring each other up, not down. So, sure. Since day one, it's always been an open thing, and
I think that's like important for maybe it's for other mediums too, but I know for podcasting, it's good to like basically cross promote and like almost share audiences, because I don't know if you listen to like you're big into the podcast world in general, but have you heard of the show Sword and Scale?
No.
So it's like there's like a big true crime podcast corner. And a lot of shows that do similar things where they share audiences and they'll guest on each other's show. But then there's this show called Sword and Scale, which was like, it's really well produced and it's really well written, but the host is he's just kind of a dick. And he talks so much shit about all the other podcasts. And now, because of it, like he's losing his audience and he's lost so many advertisers because he's just like salty.
Yeah.
Whenever another podcast is doing better than him.
Yeah, that's probably one of the big things I got to say about Mickey is definitely right when I started joining on and co-hosting episodes with him a lot. He was always big into like, yeah, we got to be big with the community, have on as many like special guests as we can, as many people who want to hop on the cast as we can is huge. And I think that also helped, like, you know, grow the audience pretty quickly because people get excited to come on and record shows with Mickey. And, you know, it's always good. Like, it's healthier to, you know, build good relationships with people in the community, the OSRS community and the podcast community, because, you know, it makes it easier. Because when you're a dick, like you said, you lose, you know, sponsorship opportunities, you lose, you know, viewers, and you just also, like, at the end of the day, you look like an asshole. It's like, at the end of the day, I want to do a podcast that I enjoy, you know. And I think Mickey's done really good on growing a community around that positivity.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that's a really,
Did you
really
guys-
good approach.
Did you guys ever take up ads?
No, not really. I mean, we had like this like what is it? Audible. I almost said Adobe. Imagine we got an Adobe sponsorship. Damn. We had like this like a Audible. I don't even want to call it a sponsorship, but it was like, hey, if you use this code word, every 3 people that signs up, I get $15.
Okay.
Which I don't know. It's like all you have to do is anyone can sign up for that, and I think Audible does like 2 different types. One where they'll just pay you because so many people are listening, and then there's also the one where it's like if I reference enough people, which
so
turns out, yeah.
They're classically 2 different things. One is like a referral code, and then one is like a paid sponsorship spot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But and one thing I've learned too, because with this interning at the podcast thing, like it's hard to get advertisers, but it's not as hard as you would think. It's hard if you just sit there and you hope the advertisers come to you. But if you're willing to go out there and start knocking on doors, you can make the argument on different advertisers.
Well, yes, it's easier than people think. I feel like to get advertisement like opportunities, but like a lot of the way that really smart people are looking at it now, like Warren Buffett and like really big money investors, the way they look at it, like Coca-Cola product, like companies like that, like they want to see that you have at least like 500,000 like, you know, weekly or bi-weekly listeners before they really are willing to like throw money just for a sponsorship read.
Yeah.
But smaller companies will do it around like 100K, 50K, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, like you don't. Maybe there's like a board game company that just released this new, I don't know, tabletop game. You know, you could put the word out like, hey, you know, I don't know, make the argument on why you would make a good fit for it.
So did you? I know you were mentioning. And by the way, real quick, look, what are you doing over there, Luke? Mac? Are you flying a kite?
Yeah, it's windy, so like I'm pretty screwed either if I'm inside or outside. So I'm probably gonna cut out for now because I don't want to screw up the quality for the rest of the episode. But it's been great to catch up, Dilz. Mickey, we're gonna have to record one soon.
Yes,
fucking
sir.
Old school style. But I'll let you guys go.
It's good to have you, man.
All right, adios.
Deuces. So there we go. Sounding like we're on an aircraft carrier. Fucking have F-16s taking off.
Pearl Harbor. Here we come.
10th podcast episode.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the. I mean, it happens. It's one of the quirks of having multiple people, you know, that are in different areas of the world. You never know what people got going on in the background, but or like what the quality is of their mic. But we make do. But so you were saying about Dungeons and Dragons. Did you watch Stranger Things?
Yeah, you know, I've only seen the first season. That's a show that's on my list to go back and watch.
Did you like the how they did the Dungeons and Dragon references and throughout the whole series they like made like analogies to D&D. I didn't really understand the analogies as much because I hadn't played, but yeah, I was just curious to see if any of those were like accurate.
You know, I have to go back and watch because I can't remember, but that show might have put it in my head a bit and like made me more interested in it. Because I know when I was in high school, I had friends doing D&D, and I was like, "That's so nerdy. You guys are so lame." And I just never did it. And then I'd go home and play RuneScape. And it was only like the past couple of years I got interested in it.
Hell yeah! It's not a solo game, right? Like you have to have buddies to play.
Yeah, you'd want a group of people, and like there are times you could do it with one other person, but you have to have someone who's like the storyteller, and he's basically the god. Like he tells you what's happening in the world, and then you get to decide what you want to do, and then he tells you what happens.
Cool, man. Hell yeah. Well, I'm gonna take a bite of this banana real quick.
Is that the same banana, man? I've been working on the same banana for like 2 days, huh?
For real. I ate half of it last night. Put it down, take a little bite at a time. So what do you we use Spreaker, basically is the platform that like, so I'll use Craig to record, and then I'll put it into GarageBand, and I'll edit the EQ settings. I'll add some compression, and I'll export it, and then I'll go to Spreaker's website and upload it like that. And Spreaker basically distributes the podcast to all the other platforms, you know, whether it be YouTube, Twitter, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Pandora, or I don't know about Pandora, but Spotify. What did you guys do for your like RSS feed?
For the RuneScape podcast, we used Libsyn, which is I don't know if Spreaker costs money. Do they have a free model?
You know, to be honest with you, I can't remember if they have a free model, and it does. I think it's like $10 a month or whatever. I'm about to have to actually upgrade to the next one because I think I'm at about 50% of the storage space that I can use or something like that. But
yeah, Libsyn's the same way. There's no free model. So I paid. You start off with like $5, but I've during my little break from the RuneScape podcast, I decided to start 2 other little podcasts just to get better in different areas. And there's a site called Anchor, which is a free one, and I think it's owned by Spotify. And it's pretty all right if you don't have the money to spend on it. But I've heard of Spreaker before though. They seem pretty good.
It's okay. It's definitely good for like starting out. One thing that I liked about it was they had a mobile app, but they also had like features where you could like kind of edit, and you can add in like laugh effects or whatever. You can add in like music and stuff. So I was kind of abusing that privilege when I first started the podcast. I'd add in like laugh track and stuff. Nice. But I don't know. I wish they had a little bit more features. Like, for example, they have this thing where it's like you can pay to like put your ad on their website, but it's just kind of irrelevant because I don't know how many people would be going to Spreaker.com and like see it. Like, I wish that they had more features in that sense. But overall, I really can't complain. I love the fact that you just upload it to theirs, and then you have like they got me on Spotify. All these other Stitcher, like they kind of do the dirty work for you. So that was pretty cool.
Really cool. Because with Libsyn, they don't give you any editing tools. They don't. I think you have to. At least when we first started, you had to manually set it up yourself on iTunes and all the other platforms, which was kind of a pain in the ass. And then, but I don't know. They're really good. I think actually at some point, I know Joe Rogan, the JRE, used Libsyn. I don't know if they still do, but they did some odd years ago. But Anchor is similar. You as soon as you sign up, they send it out for you, and they do all the dirty work.
Yeah, I'd heard about Anchor. So that's really cool, man, that you're in school for this type of stuff. What is the title again? Is it radio?
It's radio broadcasting, and I don't know if I'd recommend it because like it was really good because I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, and then I jumped in there, and it kind of gave me the confidence to pull the trigger on a few things. But at least for the second year, it was just a huge year in review. And plus, man, we'd have classes that would teach the most stupid shit. And what pissed me off was that like some of my classmates would be like, "Oh wow, I never knew how to do that," which was like simple stuff like how do you share a link on Facebook? Like we had a 40-minute lesson on that once, and I was like losing my mind. I was like, I can't believe I woke up at 8 a.m. for this. But then like they're teaching the class, and some of the classmates are like, "Oh wow, that's really interesting. I didn't know that." And I'm like, "How the fuck didn't you know how to do that?"
Yeah, that's how I don't know, that's college for you, man. You know, I only went for 1 year to a community college, and that didn't last long because I was probably about like 19. I was bringing like vodka and like water bottles, and I'd go into the commons area and get some Red Bull, and I'd have like Red Bull and vodka for like 10 a.m. classes. And about halfway through like that semester, I was like, man, this is not going to work out. Like,
It's expensive.
yeah. So you're in Canada though, right?
Yeah, we're in Canada.
That's what's up. That's really cool. Oh,
What about you?
Systems of Evil. What's up, brother?
What's up?
Hello.
I was talking to Dilz from the Wilderness podcast.
Oh, okay.
Hello.
Yeah, so I'm from Richmond, Virginia.
Okay, cool.
Born and raised here. I've traveled different states, different countries and stuff like that, but it's all right. I mean, I don't know, it's all right. There's nothing really super spectacular about Richmond.
We're actually taking a tour to pick up everybody.
Yeah, we were talking about a Rogan and RuneScape tour bus.
Let's get it going, man. I'll drive it.
Do you have your
Because I'm not driving it. I'm drinking.
Do you have your CDL?
Oh, you don't need a CDL. It's not like we can afford a big old $55,000.
It's an RV, bro. You don't need a CDL to drive it like an RV.
Yeah, we can.
A party bus? No way, dude.
We can just pull a Breaking
This ain't
Bad,
the
get a little
fucking
Zeppelin.
RTA station.
Yeah.
What is the RTA station?
Well, that's what they call like the public transportation where I'm at.
Yeah.
RTA, like the buses, the rapid.
It's basically the bus lines that run through the state.
I got you. Oh yeah, that's right. So Smoke Blunt and Systems of Evil are from Ohio, along with Strictly Bake and Call Me Wiki. They're all from Ohio. Sean Boy, you're from Wisconsin, right?
Yep.
And we got Sheer RNG is from Canada. We actually just recorded an episode with Heartless Beaver. He's from Canada.
Right. Yeah.
So we really could do, if I had the funds for it, we could do like a cross country Rogan RuneScape meetup. I think that'd be really cool.
No, you just have everyone throw down that wants to get picked up.
Yeah, and we'll have Systems of Evil, or should we we should get Systems of Evil driving one shift, and then we'll get Memra to drive the other shift.
Hey, listen, I live in
We're
the
stopping in
RV
Kansas.
capital of the world.
You live in what?
Ohio, right here. I live in the middle of the RV capital of the world.
Oh man,
Right. We used to have, I don't know if you know what Tom Raper is, but we used to have Tom Raper. Now we have like Camping World, and there's all kinds of places right here between me and Richmond.
Yeah,
Tom
that's weak
Raper.
ass camping, bro.
Did you say Tom Raper?
Yeah, it used to be. It was Tom Raper. It was Tom Raper's RV for years.
Like RAPER?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I don't trust Tom Raper.
Yeah, I don't know about
Tom Raper, he'll give you that deal that you'll never get elsewhere.
that.
Yep, you won't forget it for a week.
Yeah, and then we got Alicia. She's from UK. Gaming Ambi. She's from Hong Kong. I haven't spoken with her in a while though. Kind of want to catch up with her and see what's up. But yeah, man, it's really cool to just talk to people around the world and stuff.
So I got in here a little late today, but I was wondering, did you guys see all the posts about the second ranked Ultimate Iron Man dying?
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
What is it?
I don't know who it is or like what to keep track of, but he lost it was like 2.3 bill worth of stuff: Twisted Bow, Max Gear,
PK.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess he was doing a master clue, is what they say, and he got scouted.
How come I can never find these fuckers in the wilderness when I'm in the wilderness?
I think it was a real world trade. I think he was selling out because that's like $3,000.
Well, also what because they were PK'd by the clan Rot, I think.
Yeah.
But I think these clans, they'll like add a bunch of these Ultimate Iron Men to kind of figure out.
Just wait to see when they log in to see
yeah,
if they turn their friends on public, and then boom, you're got.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if he keeps playing or restarts or whatever he plans on doing. If he doesn't continue playing in some form, I'll assume this was his out. He wanted to quit playing and made a quick $3,000, and it was
That's my theory about whenever you see some streamer get hacked. They're just selling their shit, acting like they got hacked.
Because I mean, if in not that I've purchased it, but it pops up all the time. I look into stuff. I just look because I have since I was a kid since I started playing. Old school RuneScape gold right now goes between 75 and 80 cents on the mill. So like 1 mil will be like 80 cents in real life currency.
Yeah, you could sell it for like 30 to 40 cents a mil.
I don't know, man. Yeah. Well, I know I see people.
Don't ask me how I know.
Hey, Systems, do you get your kid to play RuneScape? Do you use them as a pack yak?
They're too young. I tried to get my oldest to do agility for me, but she doesn't have the attention span yet, which is okay. But my wife basically got me from 60 to 80 woodcutting in like a day. And
what? I need to marry my girl then. Damn, dude, that's a perk I can't say no to.
Yeah, well, I married her, so she does. Plus, she gets my marks of grace for me. Stuff I don't want to do, she'll do it for me.
Nice. I'm reporting you. Multiple account logins, multiple people sharing an account, banned.
Listen, we've had this conversation. You ain't gonna get banned for multiple people sharing when people openly, you can look on forums and everything else, run 13 accounts at once.
Yo, that's what you get for being a Bengals fan, bro.
Listen.
Oh my God.
We're not going to start. So I did go to Walmart earlier, and I seen this dude wearing a Steelers cap and a 19 jersey, and he looked like Ben Roethlisberger let himself go. And I just wanted to smack him right in the mouth. But I didn't.
So do you, Dilz, do you play any other games on the RuneScape avidly?
Not like a crazy amount. I'll jump between games. Like I'm playing
Raid Shadow Legends.
Yeah, there it is. I'm playing a game called Hades Star on the side. It's like I've heard people say it's similar to Eve. If you heard of Eve Online,
oh yeah,
it's like one of those incremental games where you like play it 30 minutes a day. It's pretty fun. And I was playing Warframe for a while, but then once I started playing RuneScape, that kind of stopped.
Yeah, Warframe. I think they had that on console. I think I tried it on console.
Yeah, it's
a couple of years ago.
It's a pretty good game for a game that's free to play. But
hey,
yeah,
so anyone that has Minecraft, they're doing an event today, which started at 3 p.m. And there's only really one act that I would really like to see. But there's this event called Block by Block West. And so it's a concert in Minecraft, and the person that I would want to see is on stage one. His name's Oliver Francis. I've been to DC a couple times to see him perform. I think he's actually from Missouri. He's a rapper from Missouri. But yeah, in case anyone was interested in Oliver Francis, they also have like Pussy Riot in there and some other people. But Wiccaface, Strings Eternal, I think I've heard of him, but yeah, they're doing that today at 3 p.m.
Interesting.
Yeah, man.
Back to sort of like the games we played before. Man, I wish I could show you guys the Minecraft worlds. When I was 15 and 16 and and around that age, me and my buddies would sit on Minecraft for like 10 hours a day. Like
it's all about Club Penguin, dude.
I wish, I know we're all relative. I'm just a little bit older than you guys, but I wish I could explain to you, man. Like when Call of Duty World at War came out, it came out on a Wednesday. The first weekend they had, like that Friday started to double XP, and by that Monday, I was already 10 prestige maxed out. Like that's how much I played.
Jesus.
How do you have that time?
I was 15, 14 years old, dude.
So as soon as you got home from school, it's just PlayStation all night.
I graduated a year and a half early, so I didn't have nothing to do for a year and a half. And,
Smarty pants.
Seriously, you got some stocks I should invest in or something, or what?
No. But you should ask Strictly Bake. When I played World at War, I was 12th in the world for Capture the Flag. Like, that's all I played. And my KD was like a 9.0 for like 2 years. Because I can play continuously till Modern Warfare.
Why didn't you ever go like pro?
I did. Well, back in the day, game battles was just something that there was no like refs or anything to keep track. So basically, if I did do a lot of 2v2s. I was third in the world for 2v2s. And the problem was, if you beat someone, all they had to do was say, "Oh, they won," and then they would just make it a draw because there was no official.
Yeah, there's no word.
Yeah,
no one could really prove who won, who didn't win.
Then Modern Warfare 2 came out. I didn't mind it, but I knew it was the beginning of the change. New kill streaks came out. It was like people would one-man army thumpers. And that would be the whole game.
Oh dude, one-man army thumper. I was one of those.
It changed. So I kind of lost interest, and that's when I kind of went back to Gears. I played a lot of Gears of War 2, a lot of Gears of War 1. If there was at the time like an MLG circuit for Gears of War 3, I had invested so much time I could have probably legit made some money off Gears of War 3. I was so good at that game.
My one dude's pretty pro at it.
Strictly Bake, I'll tell you what, Gears of War 1 I was good at, and I could win every match and get kills every match, but if you played Gears of War 1, that's not what it was about. It was all about
play me in some Fortnite, dog.
Dude, I don't want Fortnite.
What are you, 12? Smoke one?
I shit on 12-year-olds.
You probably do. You're probably like, in your face.
Oh. I use game chat just to talk shit.
I bet.
This is a very unpopular opinion, but did you guys ever play Battlefield when it first came out when it was Bad Company?
Dude, I played Battlefield for the PC.
Hardline. That was
That's the real question. Did you play Battlefield 2 for the PC? Because that was the OG shit.
I played it on Xbox. Now, let me tell you what, Battlefield 2 was probably one of my top 5 favorite games of all time, especially when they dropped the first big DLC. What was it, Vietnam? They brought in choppers and stuff like that.
So did you play for the computer?
No, I didn't start playing PC. I played PC when I played RuneScape, but I never played games on the PC till recently. I did for a while, I was into Overwatch.
Ooh, I love Overwatch, dude, but I play on Xbox.
That's what I was playing on. I literally it hasn't even been 6 months since I swapped back to PC.
Wait, you play Overwatch on Xbox, bro?
I did. I do not anymore. I got rid of my I have no interest in playing consoles anymore, man. It's I don't want to say it's toxic, but I mean, because when I was playing Modern Warfare 2, if you weren't a faggot, you were an N-word. That's how it was. That's just how
we can't use that word, bro. It's 2020. We can't use that word nowadays.
Yeah, we can't say the N-word anymore. But
anymore, ever.
I mean, I would straight be talking to a 45-year-old white dude who lived in his mom's basement and tell him he was an N-word. And if that didn't piss him off, I'd tell him he was a faggot because that's totally against all gay people. Apparently.
I love how you don't censor the F word, but you censor the N word.
Yeah, you censor the N word, but you're just like,
you know what? I'll tell you this. I worked up here near a club for a long time, and it was a drag queen club. And one time, his name was Scotty. He was in the place I worked.
Did you suck his dick?
No, listen. I accidentally said I wasn't thinking.
Oh, I accidentally touched his dick.
Yeah, I groped him, but I accidentally said faggot in front of his boyfriend. And he came in the next night and got so shitty with me. And then after ripping me out for 10 minutes, he looked at me and said, "Oh, dude, I'm totally just kidding. I'm a faggot. I know." And that was to me. That was to me.
What?
Yeah, he said it's just a word. It's just
I'd be like, dude, you're a fucking psycho, bro.
Dude, he was the coolest dude in the world. Dude, I'm telling you what, he was the coolest man, lady in the world.
Yeah, man. A lot of gay people are pretty cool. But hey, so this real quick, this actually brings me to a question I had for Dilz, somewhat relevant. So since you're from Canada, what is it like? Here we have the freedom of speech. Aren't there things in Canada where you can literally have the police knock on your door if you do things like cyberbullying?
I mean, I guess it depends on how intense the cyberbullying is. I know, God, don't ask why this became a fucking topic in class, but I don't know if you guys are familiar with Jordan Peterson. I mean, you probably are. Yeah, Joe Rogan and stuff. he was on this like this crusade about this certain bill that was trying to be passed that was like, if you don't use someone's gender pronoun or whatever you want to call it, that's a hate crime, and then you could have the cops called on you. I don't know if you guys remember him saying that, but he went around saying that, and I mean, on paper that sounds really fucked up, but that wasn't even really what the bill was about. It was more of like, if you're a trans person, you can't get fired and stuff from your job because you're a trans person. You can get fired for something else, and I'm sure that your boss would find another thing to fire you for, but you couldn't get fired just because you were trans or something.
And I personally, you know what, I agree with that to an extent. You shouldn't be able to get fired because you have a vagina or a penis. You know, that's you just shouldn't.
No, you can't do that.
But,
yeah, so but it got really complicated because Jordan Peterson is a very smart guy, but he was kind of getting that wrong. So then a lot of people thought that like this is attack on our freedom of speech, but it wasn't really happening that way, I don't think. But
so
I think it might be different, but here in America, there's the freedom of speech. You can basically do anything but cause panic, because panic can get people killed.
Sure.
It's one of those things, man. Bullying and all things around those. When I was younger, probably when you guys were younger, you can remember cyberbullying wasn't a thing. And
it wasn't really the internet and shit though. When we were really growing up, you got to think about we're hanging outside doing shit. These kids nowadays sit inside all day, every day.
If someone bullies you over the internet, there's nothing you can do except either be sad, ignore them, or fight back on the internet.
Get off the website.
When we were younger, if you said that to me in person, it was we're scrapping on sight. It was a fight right there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
People don't have the fear of getting punched right in the mouth anymore.
Kids nowadays are pussies, bro.
Exactly.
Hey, so
well, not just kids, just people in general. Like,
oh, I agree.
Think about it's not even like about fighting. Just think about the people that are like with the military and shit. Like, like they're having all these people sign up for the military. They're like, yo, you guys aren't willing to do anything that we need you to do. You're just trying to just make peace and like wave flags and shit like that. Like, there's no violence. You can't there's no violence. You can't do any punishment. Like, everyone's just soft nowadays.
Hey, I was never spanked as a kid, and I'm very appreciative of that. And
I was, and I fucking learned. I didn't.
Look how you
none
turned
of that
out.
shit. I shouldn't have fucking did no more.
Look how you turned out, Smoke. Just joking. No, but for real though, the people that I know that have been spanked as a kid, like honestly, typically are more like they're just as fucked up as the ones that didn't get spanked, and a lot of times they're more fucked up later in life. Like,
they just think they can get away with whatever because there was never punishment for anything. They never had a consequence for doing something wrong.
I think that's kind of like a generation gap now. That's why it's so different. Because if I'm in the...
That's why, like, kids are punching teachers. Because they're like, yo, I'm not about to get in trouble.
If I had one scenario in school where a kid was... a kid that was... I guess I was probably my junior year. He was a big kid. I'm a big dude. He was a big kid. And he was trying to fight this female teacher. I basically just told him, I'm like, I'll punch you square in the fucking mouth, dude. I mean... I believe in equal rights, but she was a little old frail lady. You just don't do that.
Mm-hmm. And there's no what's your reason to fight some old lady anyway?
She wouldn't bone you. Maybe she wouldn't. Maybe she wouldn't fuck him.
She failed you because you didn't know how to read.
No, maybe he really had a crush on her, and she just like blew him off. That's probably what happened.
He just said she was an old lady.
So what?
She was probably 70 years old.
Have you ever seen Yes Man, the movie Yes Man? remember when he helps his old neighbor and she's like, she like basically tries to seduce him, but he's got to say yes to everything.
He has to, yeah.
So she's like, just lay back and let me handle everything. So she takes out her dentures and puts them in the glass of water.
Hey, this guy I work with said that he got head from this crackhead chick that actually took her fucking dentures out, and he said it was the best head he's ever gotten.
Oh, was it a
Straight up
gummy,
gum
right?
job.
That's what it's called.
A gummy.
Get in the gummy.
That's disgusting.
I mean,
Oh,
I'd try
man.
it. Fuck
So
it.
I'm gonna have to talk to you, Dills, later once I get the Scarlet about like what microphones to get and everything. That's really cool that you're doing that type of stuff for school.
Yeah, it's yeah. There's a few things I wish I knew beforehand, but it's really good. See, I mean, yeah. I mean, there's pros to having like a USB microphone. It's very convenient to just plug it in, plug and go. But yeah, I don't know. Depends on the angle you want to take.
So did you take part in the May 15th, or I guess yesterday, the J mod event, the cabbage bombing?
Oh, I didn't even know that was a thing because I just started playing 3 or 4 days ago, after not even looking at the game for months.
I got you.
What was it?
I don't know, man. I'm about to after this, I'm probably gonna look up a YouTube video and see what it's all about. But I think basically, just from looking at the old school RuneScape news, or whatever, I think it basically is just like J mods like dropping cabbages everywhere.
Nice.
That's what it sounded like, at least to me.
They do some cool stuff. I don't know how long ago this was, but right before I started playing again, I seen a video. There was a long time Jagex mod who like worked for the company that was leaving the company. So they threw him a going away party in game, and they brought like the Zamorak God War boss and everything outside the farming guild. Had it spawn there, just standing there, and they had like a huge party and shit.
Maybe that was like Mod Matt K. Because remember when
yeah, I think it might have been.
I remember when he was leaving, that was a pretty big deal.
So, what type of music does Dills listen to?
Can I go with the answer? I listen to everything, but I guess I go through like phases. I'll listen to like heavy metal, and then I'll listen to like EDM.
Nice.
Listen to like rap, and then punk rock. I'll jump around depending on how I'm feeling. But
What type of metal do you like? I'm a metalhead, or I was more so metalhead back in the day, but pretty much love metal.
I've been listening to a lot of like prog metal, or prog rock.
Nice.
Like between the Buried in Me and like Protest the Hero, is my favorite band, and they just released 2 songs off their album that's coming out in June. So that's pumped for that.
Have you ever heard of the band called Polyphia?
Oh, sounds very familiar, but I don't think I've ever listened to them.
I'm gonna send you a link here in a sec. They're kind of like prog metal. There's no vocals, but they freaking shred, man.
Oh, cool.
Between the Buried in Me was really good. I think they had a song called Alaska. Some of my favorite metal bands are like, I don't really listen anymore because just like most things in life, they get like oversaturated. Things start sounding the same. But my favorite metal bands are Whitechapel, Black Dahlia Murder, Azalea Dying, Carnifex is really good. Those are just a few of them. I know there's Job for a Cowboy. I love Job for a Cowboy.
Oh God, I haven't listened to them in years.
Oh my God, dude! Entombment of a Machine, so good.
Yeah, that's one I used to love.
It Dies Today is a really good band. So that's cool, man. I'm glad to hear there's a fellow metalhead.
Yeah, like I don't listen to metal as much as I used to back in high school. But I mean, in high school, I was that kid that, I only wear band shirts and stuff like that.
100%. Oh, and you know what? This is actually kind of random. I can't believe I remember this, but there's a female metal band called Kittie, Kittie, and they're Canadian from London, Ontario. Yeah,
cool.
man.
I'm familiar with that area. Yeah, I didn't know they were Canadian. I like their they do a Pink Floyd cover. That's really good. I think it's called Run. I don't remember.
What type of EDM do you listen to? Some random names.
See, I don't even have like an artist that I enjoy. I mean, I used to listen to like dubstep back whenever dubstep was a thing. I don't know whatever happened to that. But now it's just whatever Spotify throws me.
I got you. Yeah, thank God for Spotify.
Yeah, like I don't know any of the names that I listen to now, but I mean, back when I listened to dubstep, I was all about the Skrillex and Flux Pavilion and
Flux, yeah.
Whoever else is a relevant name, I can't remember. Pendulum. I fucking used to love Pendulum. Although I don't know if they're EDM. They're more of like drum and bass and rock fusion.
So when you were listening to EDM, you're more of like the drum and bass / dubstep rather than like the hardcore techno that was like boom 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 boom. I think they call it hard style.
Yeah, it's hard style.
Oh yeah, like there's some hard style that's really fucking catchy.
100%, dude. I used to make fun of it back in the day because it's like, dude, this all sounds the same. It's the same bass, bass line, the same time signature, whatever. But I don't know, man. It's freaking beautiful.
Yeah, I used to. I remember my brother went through a phase. I was probably in high school, and he would have been in public school, elementary school. But yeah, he was looking at the dancing. What is it called? Like the
shuffling.
The cyber goths, dude.
Shuffling, like, right?
No,
yeah,
it's
shuffle.
like jump style, and it's all about you jump and twist your legs around. It's
you got the jump style, shuffle type of like dancing to hard style. Man, I'm gonna send you some links, bro.
Sweet.
Maybe
it is. Yeah, hard jump shuffle. Okay.
That's hold on, that's not the right link. That's like a Google link. I'm gonna send you Polyphia Champagne. There we go. Listen to that at your leisure. But they're a really good like prog metal band. I think you might enjoy them. I've seen them in concert twice. They're from Texas.
One type of music that I kind of I was introduced to, like I was aware of it, but I never really listened to it. Was it Degent? Meshuggah, right? Yeah. I remember listening to Meshuggah and being like, why is this so fucking popular? This is meh. And then I did some research on why it's so popular, and then I went back and listened to it, and I was like, oh, okay, actually these guys are incredible. I might not listen to them that much, but yeah, interesting stuff.
Heck yeah, man. Well, we're at about 5:45 p.m. over here, local time. We started at 4:43 p.m. Here local time, so we've been doing it for about an hour. We can keep rolling, but I know you said you had some stuff to do. Prep up for dinner. So
yeah, no, I was saying before we started recording was I can guarantee like an hour of recording, but then around 6 o'clock is usually when my girlfriend's gonna start bugging about when we're gonna start planning for dinner. So.
Babe, I'm hungry.
Yeah, pretty much. At some point, she's gonna be like, "What are we gonna eat?" Because I didn't go shopping today, so yeah.
Oh yeah, man. Well, I want to thank you again, bro. It's really cool to have you on here. I know a lot of the guys here are gonna be really excited to listen to this. And like I said, thank you because without you guys, then I probably wouldn't have had the idea, and there wouldn't have been as many cool people in here like Sean Boy, Luke Mack. We had Sheer from Wild CC, a lot of other people. So yeah, dude, it's really cool to have you. You're welcome on anytime. We usually try to do like at least one a week, but maybe like 2 to 3 to 4 podcasts a week. And sometimes we'll just chill in the voice, we'll chill in the general voice channel and not record, but just, play together. So I look forward to doing some more with you.
I appreciate you bringing me on because it was a lot of fun. I was saying before, I'm like, I'll be playing RuneScape on the side, but I've just been bank standing for the past hour. It's been grossed in the conversation, so thanks. It's been fun.
Yes, sir, brother. All right, man. Thanks again. Like I said, come on and don't be a stranger.
Oh yeah, we'll do another one. Yeah, definitely.
All right, homie. Well, I'll go ahead and end this, boys. We can chill in the voice channel, but I'll go ahead and get Craig on out of here.
Well, Dilz, it was nice meeting you, man.
Likewise. We'll have to do some bossing sometime or something like that.
Yeah, just everyone, if you want to drop your usernames in the chat, I'll add you guys. But for sure,
smoke one, baby.
Yeah, mine's the same as my name here.
Yeah, mine's the same too.
Yeah, mine, unfortunately.
You said what?
My name is Dr. Bendova, so yeah. That's a story for another time.
Okay. All right, gentlemen. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.